Yulan Chu, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy, and welcome to another evening officer video. And in this case, an officer I have quite mixed feeling about, but I will tell you why a little bit later. But first, if you're not a subscriber of my channel yet, but do like my videos, then please do subscribe to my channel. And when you do, please also click this little bell and all notifications so you'll be notified when another video comes out. But let's have a look at this rare officer Garak. You see that I'm even stumble over my own tongue about him. I fought really hard to get Garak at some time, and suddenly he was not that important anymore. But I'm skipping ahead a little bit. First, let's have a look here. He's class Science. Why ever? I always thought he's a spy, and even as the son of an Abrantine, the head of the Obsidian Order, more command thing than science. But okay, so you need science badges to upgrade him. He's from the group DS9, and he's from the faction Cardassian, which doesn't really exist as a faction, so you will need independent credits to upgrade him later. And if you want to know more about Garak, if you haven't seen Deep Space Nine, because everyone who's seen Deep Space Nine will know Garak, there's of course an explanation in the info box as well about him. He has a captain ability that is plain simple Garak. While on an interceptor fighting a player ship with hull breach, Garak reduces opponent kinetic weapon damage by 5% each round, which is nice, but not nice enough for that crew I will talk about in a second. But his officer ability is Outcast Spy, which he was, that's why he was on Deep Space Nine. While on an interceptor fighting a player ship with hull breach, Garak increases critical hit chance by 30% each round. And that was the really important part when Garak was new to this game, because he was part of the whole change in PvP crews that happened when the DS9 storylines came in. Suddenly, the Lorca crew, which was for quite some time the most important PvP crew, was completely meh. And suddenly we had the Veyun crew for explorers, we had the Strike Team Laan crew we already had for the battleships, and we then had the Gul Dukat crew for interceptors. And that only worked with Gul Dukat as a captain with Damar and Garak on the bridge. That was the interceptor PvP crew you could find, and it was absolutely hard to beat them, so you needed another of those full crews to beat those ships. And at the time I was fighting hard in events and trying to get Garak and to get the full set together. In the special events I used my tokens for those officers, and then I had this full crew. And I fought with this full crew in incursions and territory defenses and everything, and was happy. And then Lower Decks came, and suddenly Garak wasn't that important anymore. I fought so hard to get him, and suddenly it wasn't so important anymore to have him, because suddenly he was replaced by a Lower Decks officer. And well, you still can choose a little bit if you use Damar or Garak with Dukat and the Lower Deck officer, but you didn't need the full Cardassian set anymore. And that was quite sad, especially for the Admiral of the Cardassian Union, which we founded, of course, before the Cardassians were in the game at all. But it was sad. And then it was even harder for some people, because after the arc, it was absolutely hard to get those crews outside of special events. Nowadays, it's easier. And that's since they invented the wave defenses, because you will want to know still where you get Garak. Even he's not that important anymore as he was when I got him, but he is still important. He's still a good officer for PvP. And now, finally, you can get him regularly in-game with the other PvP crews of that time. The fun thing is that now, after you don't need them in that form anymore, even if you see them, when you see the PvP crews in the Scopely shop, they have the current settings. So 2 of them with 1 lower deck officer, the way I'm using them as well. I made update videos on those crews. And but here in the Section 31 shop, you see the old combination with Strike Team Ortegas, Una and Laan, with Garak, Damar and Ducat. And that's where you can get Derek. Was a friend of mine in kindergarten already. No, here it's Garak. And now you can regularly get shards here with Section 31 credits, and the same with the Veyun crew with Pon, Ikatika and Veyun, and even Carol Freeman. But the rest you can use with her properly is not here. But nevertheless, the full Cardassian crew is here, so you can get Garak here as well. And it's not that hard anymore. You just need to spend Section 31 credits after you reached, what's it called now? I don't know if it was Agent or Distinguished. I forgot which one of those it was. Agent or Distinguished, you need to be from the reputation to get Garak. But as I said, I was really happy about to get him at the time when I got him. And that doesn't change that I was happy at that time. But I would really like to know your opinion also, if you are one of the experienced players, about the changes they did. After we had these full crews with the Veyun crew, the Ducat crew, etc. What do you think about the changes they brought in with the lower decks crews, that they kind of have torn apart those crews? I'm really interested in that point. But if you want to say something else about Garak, of course, too. And of course, if you have questions in general or video requests, you know that I'm regularly reading your comments, and that I'm always happy to know where my active viewers are coming from. But there's one more thing I have to add about Garak. Of course, he is a rare officer, so of course he does have 2 possible officer away team traits, and that's Deceptive and Criminal. And I probably will upgrade him here a bit more after using a different crew now, and probably will send him to away teams from time to time, but haven't completely decided on that one yet, as you can see. Talking about seeing, if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.